Mandy and I are here today. We're going to record a session with her today so that you can see what healing is like and how healing sessions work with me and how I work with people. She has agreed today to do a session, and we don't know where we're going or what we're going to talk about because we never do any of that beforehand. So I thank you for letting me do this with you, and I'm excited to see where we go today. So, are you ready to get to work then?
Yes.
Oh. All right, here we go. So I'm just going to tap in. Oh, you've got a lot of heavy stuff on the top. So as I tap into your energy there, we got a lot of heavier stuff on the top. It's like all the stress of work, all the stress of life. And I do know that you have a lot going on in your personal life right now with kids, and there's some grief going on in there as well, and you understand all of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You've had a recent loss in your family, and I know that, and I can feel that in your energy as well today. There's also some anxiety in there. Do you understand that?
100%.
I'm like, whoa. As I stepped out of that grief, then I stepped through the layer of anxiety, and it's almost like a panic. You've been shoving this one down for a while. You're trying not to let this one come out.
Right.
You're afraid if this one rears its ugly head. Oh, baby. Yeah, I just saw you take a big, deep breath. We're going to dive into that. This is fear of letting go. This is because of the grief that you're going through. You feel like that if you let go, all shit's going to hit the fan. Do you understand that? You feel like you have to hold everybody together. You're holding the family unit together. You're going to make me cry, actually, because
I know.
I'm like, because you're like holding on so tight. You're like white knuckling life today so that, and every day for the past couple months, actually, it's been this way, and you're holding on tight, and you're afraid to let go of this because if you lose it, then what will happen? Because you're trying to hold kids together. And is it okay if I mention what's going on? You've just recently had a loss of a grandchild that was born premature. So I just want to mention that, if that's okay, because but I feel this tightness of holding on so tight that if you let go and you lose it, the whole family's going to lose it. What a horrible position to put yourself in. Because the other thing that I feel is that even though you say, I'm doing okay, you've also never allowed yourself to grieve yet. Because if you take that moment, then you're going to lose it. And you got to keep everybody moving. You got to get your daughter better. You've got to do all these things. You got to keep telling everybody it's going to be okay. You got to just keep going.
Right.
But meanwhile, you're dying a silent death inside.
Mm.
Because even just talking about it today, you're like, I can't even let that go, because if I start crying and it comes up, I'm not going to be able to stop it. It's going to be the unleashed tiger that just got out of its cage for the first time in 20 years. Like,
right.
So you understand. See what else. Here's the thing that I need you to understand is that we cannot help other people around us if we're white knuckling it ourselves. Because what's going to happen eventually is you're going to explode, which is, you've kind of been there already. People are irritating around you. You're doing things and you're like, why am I so pissed at that? Like, you're kind of angry at odd things that wouldn't normally make you angry. You're irritated with people very easily irritated.
And I'm not usually.
And you're not usually like that. I can feel that with you. You're usually pretty easygoing. You're usually pretty kicked back for the most part. You don't put up with crap, but for the most part. And right now, you're like white knuckling in it. If somebody said a trigger word to you, I'm
Oh my
afraid,
God.
like, yeah, I'm like waiting
Oh,
for it, like,
yeah,
because what I'm seeing inside of you is deep down, even though you're sad, you're pissed.
yeah.
You are
Well,
pissed
yeah, yes,
because if you have to be honest with yourself, you got something that you truly wanted snatched away from you and didn't even get an opportunity to do anything about it.
not even a second, not a second.
And so all of those expectations, all of those being a grandma again, all of those being able to raise, and this child was also was a Downs baby, which was
Mhm.
even more intriguing to you because you were like, oh my gosh, we get to do a Downs because you feel
Yep,
like I do. I love
yeah.
them. Like
Oh my gosh.
they melt my heart. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so you're pissed at the man upstairs for taking away your opportunity. And you don't want to be. But
no,
here's the deal. You need to feel that. You need
yeah,
to go there. You need to go there. Can you feel that as I say that?
yeah, yeah. It really wants to come out, and I think I just fight it because if someone sees me or somebody, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, the other thing that I'm hearing in my head is it's not about me. This is about my kid. And
yeah,
if I go there, what gives me the right to be in that space?
yeah. Well,
Do you
because it was
understand that
her
too?
baby. It was my daughter's baby, and it
But
killed
you're
her.
her mother.
Yeah,
You just watched your baby. Now I'm going to
yeah,
cry with you. You just watched your baby go through hell.
yeah.
And she still hasn't come back. And now you're telling yourself you don't get to feel a damn thing because that's not your right.
Yeah, because
And
she's
how
still, yeah,
that I'm looking at it from your point of view going, no, 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 no. You need to give yourself that opportunity to feel that. You need to give yourself that opportunity. And just by talking, just by letting the demon out today, so to speak, is a
hmm
really good start in all of that because we've just let the cat out of the bag.
yeah,
And I want you to give yourself permission to embrace that part of yourself.
yeah. It's just so sad, so sad.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
But holding it all inside is not going to help you um, along your little path here.
right.
And even if
And
you do it in the corner, in the bathroom, why nobody's looking.
yeah. Oh, I just feel like I have to be the strong one, and because she's still not out of the woodwork yet, and I don't know.
But who says you have to hold it together all
It's
the
me.
time? All the time. To
Yeah.
hold yourself to that level of perfection that you
hmm
don't get an opportunity to be less than.
Right.
You
It's a
don't get
pain
to do
I never thought I would ever have to feel, and
no.
it's better tucked away. I feel like
Well,
then I
I'm
don't have
telling
to feel
you,
it.
we're going to do healing on it today because you know how this works. But I'm
It's
telling you,
better out.
you want to take this care of this now and not 10
Yeah.
years from now and let that anger fester.
Right.
And it's fine. Be mad at God. Be mad at the doctors. Be mad at whoever you want. But at the end of the day, none of that really matters.
Yeah.
Because what has happened,
Yeah.
and here we are.
Yeah.
And it wasn't what anybody wanted to happen,
No, we
not for
didn't
1
care.
minute.
We didn't care about any of it. We just wanted to take care of her
Yep.
and love her.
Here's the other thing I know is that you're going to have that chance.
Yeah. I
And what
know
kind of
that.
body? I don't know.
We
But I
don't
still
care.
feel it. I feel it in my
Yeah.
heart of hearts, and there will be that chance for you guys to
Right.
have that. That feels better just moving through that. Do you feel that? I want to go back to your heart space,
Okay.
and I'm going to breathe into your heart space for a second because there's some more stuff in there. What's the deal with you and your hubby? Did you two look at this differently, or does he see the grieving process differently, or is there something in there to do with that? Because I feel like there's,
We grieve differently, him and I.
yeah, because I feel like that we're not on the same wavelength together in this.
Yeah, he's suffered loss his entire life, and I've not experienced that.
Yeah. Because I
So
feel like feel like you're on the outside of that part of the relationship. Do you understand that?
Yeah, yeah,
Because he's kind of like, well, get over it. It is what it is, and we'll just do what we have to do.
right.
Which is kind of why you're shoving it too, because I can't lose it in front of him, because he's going to be like, get your shit together.
I don't care what he says. I
know you don't, but I think there's this part of you that does, though. I think there's this part of you that doesn't really want him to see you as weakness, because he seems so strong, and you see yourself, if you break down, if you do that, this is weakness.
Right, and he breaks down almost just as much. Like if I was to, then when it first happened, and this is still brand new. This is only a few weeks old.
Yeah, we're not in this very long.
No, and so I don't know. I think we're just trying to figure out how to move forward instead of just actually feeling.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the belief system about you feeling like that you can't, that you're not allowed to, that this is weakness. This is being vulnerable is actually weakness, because this goes back to your childhood. Surprise, surprise. You just took me like all the way back.
That's many years ago, Gina.
Uh-huh. You and me both, honey. You're very young. I want to say like 7, 8, 9, and that. And this comes from your dad's side of the family, or your dad said it, or there's something to do in that about the girls don't cry. You got to be a good girl. You suck it up. You just do what you're told. You shut your mouth and deal with it. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you don't, I'm going to whip your ass. Like, that's the kind of like what I'm hearing. Like, if you're going to cry, I'm going to give you something to cry about kind of thing. That's what, there you go right there.
That's it.
That's it.
I think most of us were raised like that. I'll give you something to cry about.
Yeah, I'll give you something to cry about.
I was always tiny, like a little tiny. Well, I was always smaller than everybody. So everyone was always bigger than me. So it was like they wanted me to fear everybody.
So being weak or looking vulnerable was not in your best favor growing up.
No.
Okay, so we're going to go back and do some healing on that. I actually want you to go back, and I want you to see yourself at that age. I think you will know in your head exactly where you need to go.
Yeah, I do.
Because we're in that ballpark area right there, but you will, and I want you to just close your eyes for a minute. I want you to tell that little girl that she's done nothing wrong. I want you to give her a hug. Tell her how much you love her. Tell her you'll always be there for her. And I want you to put her in your heart space, in that beautiful heart area, and let her help you heal today. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to send you some beautiful healing light. And you can just tell me whenever you're done.
Okay.
That feels better. And then I'm going to move that healing energy all the way up to you here, setting in the chart today. Releasing anything that is attached to that, anything that's no longer serving you, anything that's holding you back, anything that's not allowing to feel any of your feelings, anything that's telling you that it's wrong to feel your feelings or to have these feelings. That's another one that we got going on there, is that anger. You're telling yourself that that is wrong. This is bad. Like you're being the bad girl now. for actually feeling anger. Because what mom would be mad? Like, I'm not supposed to be mad. I'm supposed to be sad. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's a lot in there with being a good girl and a bad girl. I keep hearing that, like the good girl, the bad girl, you're the good girl, you're the bad girl. And you are looking at that, what you perceive as that negative energy of anger as the bad girl. So
Mhm.
that's why it's like shoved down in the far corner and you're like, talking about that. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you understand the good girl, bad girl thing?
Yes, I'm supposed to be a good girl.
Yes.
Of course,
We're all
I mean,
supposed to be good girls, but as we do our healing, we're not the good girl anymore.
no, no. And it's so much easier for me to, walk somebody else through that, to help them. Then I don't have to deal with my shit. So,
Right?
yes.
How we all feel. We're like, yeah, we'll just put it in someone else and they can deal with it. Not me. Not me. I'm
For
good.
me. No, I'm good. Yep.
Okay, take a deep breath. Tell me
Okay.
how that feels. Tell me how your heart feels so much better to me.
Yeah, I can breathe deeper.
Yep. I'm like, suddenly I could take a bigger deep breath in there and that.
Yeah. I should probably do that more often.
Okay, so I'm going to call in just a little more healing light in there for you, and we're going to open up that heart space for you. And I want to give you permission, not that you need it, but I'm going to do it anyway, to grieve.
Yeah.
And do it in your own way and in your own time, and not feel like you have to hold this in anymore, because you're not doing yourself or anybody else in your family any favors.
Right.
And also know that your kids are going to be okay.
Yeah.
They're going to be okay, and you're going to be okay too, and we're going to figure it out. It's going to take some time.
Yeah.
It's not easy. You're not just going to step over this. You're not just, and even when we say take time, it just means that things get a little easier to swallow.
Right.
When we're grieving, it's just about things get a little bit easier. Things get a little bit easier. Things have changed. It's changed. It's
Changed
just
forever. Right.
Yeah.
There's
In a
the human
moment.
side of it, and then there's the spiritual side of it. I know both sides of it. And so I'm figuring, since I know the spiritual side of it, and I see her and talk to her, but then I have this human side of it, which I have to deal with.
Yes.
And I try to hide behind the spiritual part of it, but I can't.
I think we all do, because we think we need to, once you start down that healing journey, we think we need to live in love and light all the time. And it's a false statement we hide behind, because it's not possible. You can't go through life. No, you can stretch, and you can find higher vibration feelings, and you can do those. But at some point in time, I believe we all need to accept that, you know what, I am angry. I am sad. My expectations this was not what I thought was going to happen. That bothers me. I don't like this uncertainty. I don't like this unknowing of what's going to happen with my daughter now. I don't like all of these things. In fact, I freaking hate them. If I'm
oh my
going to be
gosh.
honest,
I didn't have time to process any of it. It happened so fast.
Yes. So, and so I want you to understand that you need to release the judgment of how you think this should turn out. Let it all go.
I don't know how it's going to turn out. No one knows.
And try to figure it out in our head, and it causes so much anxiety.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Unreal anxiety, because you're trying every day so hard to figure out what the outcome is, spiritually and on the physical side. You're trying to figure out all the angles here. Well, guess what? You don't get a roadmap for this.
Damn it.
And I know that freaking sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
It does.
But it causes us more suffering in the long run when we set and try to figure out how it's all going to work out, and how this is going to play out, and how the kids, are they going to be okay? Are we going to, we go through this whole scenario thing every day. You're making yourself sick doing it. In fact, it's funny, when I first tapped into you, My stomach was completely upset, and now I'm feeling it in the back of my neck too and in my lower back. The longer I stay here, because you've got
Yep.
yourself in such a tight wad of
Uh-huh.
trying to white knuckle it and to figure it all out. You're causing so much discomfort all over in your body. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
You've even been in pain. Do you understand that? I feel like my joints have kind of been hurt and things have kind of been acting up. Do you understand that?
Yep, 100%.
Okay, so we're going to send some healing light through all of that, because this is you white knuckling it right now. And we don't want to do that anymore, at least to the best of your ability.
Right, right.
I understand, you know, you're still going to have to move through things. This doesn't make life perfect, but this, what we're doing today, will release some of that pressure, some of that anxiety, and help you look at it more through the spiritual eyes, but still be able to deal. We still have to deal with the human side. It just
Yeah,
is. It
it
just
just
is.
sucks. It just sucks,
Yeah.
but, you know, I can't fix it. Mommy's always the one that fixes everything.
You feel a little bit responsible too. Do you understand that?
Mm.
I feel a sense of responsibility, like you should have prepared them more. You should have, like you should have. You could have done all of these things. Do you understand
Well,
that?
because when I started noticing different things on her, which I knew from my nursing stuff, I knew what was happening to her. And
Okay.
I said a few things, but almost she wouldn't listen, though. Until then, it was not that it would have changed anything.
No.
It wouldn't have changed
That's
the
why I
outcome.
wanted to make sure that you understood, is that this
Yeah.
was nothing that, this was not for you to change. This was not for you to,
Right.
it was going to play out the way that it had played out, no matter what happened, no matter how early she went to the doctor, no matter how,
Right.
I feel like that there's just that sense of this was the outcome.
Right.
And we don't ever want to deal with that. But you're trying to make sense out of the nonsense. So I feel like that part of you has blamed yourself for, maybe I should have been more pushy. Maybe I should have told her she had to. Maybe I should have told her blah, 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 blah. Like, our kids are young. They're going to do what they want to do anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's also made you doubt your, I'm going to say this, intuitive hits in a way, because you're like, if I would have listened to him, I could have maybe done something. Do you understand that?
Yep.
Okay, so, and then you've got your kid. Oh, it's kind of rocked your world. It's going to make me cry again.
I know.
I know. I'm like, it's going to, because then you got your kids who are like, no, they don't trust you. They don't want to believe you. They don't want to. The thing is that they know you're right, but they don't want their mom. They don't want their mom telling them how to do it.
Nothing.
They don't
and then
want
mom's
it.
right, and it's just like, okay.
But this is where that sense of responsibility comes in too, because you feel like you should have done more.
Yeah,
Okay,
but there's nothing. I can't.
No.
There's nothing.
And that's why I'm bringing this up, is I want you to let's release that and let that go, because it's not doing you or anybody any good.
Any good.
In any way, shape, or form. You're kind of arguing with me. But we can't let that go. Can you feel that resistance in there? You're like,
yes,
no.
yes. But I have to.
Then I have to acknowledge that I did nothing wrong, and I'm not ready to go there yet. Like, I still want to play the blame shame game, because I'm going to keep myself in the shame shit show so that we can just keep on moving. So I want to let's work through that a little bit more. I'm going to call in your ego. We're going to calm her down just a little bit, because she wants to stomp and throw a little baby fit.
She's good at that too.
Oh, mine too. We're all good at that.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk to her, because she's justifying. Can you feel all that resistance in there? Can you feel it all?
It's going like this right now, and I'm like, someone's got to stop here.
Yeah, we'll work through it here. Let's work through that resistance. This is normal. You want to be right, and you want to, and I'm not saying that, you know, what we all go, I'm going to clarify here because I don't want people to think that I'm like, don't stay in your pity party. There's a time and a place to be there, absolutely. But to hold yourself hostage there and beat the living shit out of yourself every day, that is not okay.
Right.
And that's where we get into these depression and anxiety, and you know, we don't even realize what we're saying to ourselves up here, what we're allowing to go on up there until it's too late, and we're in a full-blown massive blowout at that time, like
Right.
especially when we have traumas and grief and things going on in our life. So there is a time and a place. And I know for me, I give myself a time frame to be there. I'm like, fine, go there, be there.
Yeah.
You got 3 hours, you got 24 hours, whatever it is that I feel that I need, and then we're moving on. So have your party, do your thing, do whatever you need to do, and then we're moving forward. So, oh, she's like, oh, okay. Did you feel? I'm like,
she's heavy. She's a heavy one on me.
because she's a right fighter.
Yeah.
The other thing in the intuitive side is you don't want to be wrong. And sometimes part of this, there have been some things that have been wrong. Do you understand that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So then it makes you doubt even more and doubt what you're being told and doubt what. It's not that they're wrong. We read into them sometimes because of our perceptions and where we've been and things. So the thing with intuition is we just keep working at it. We just keep going with it. We just keep moving through it. Because the more you use it, the better it gets. Like, you just keep doing it. And when we're in a place of not trusting it, that's usually when we get a little wobbly and things get a little and I look at it kind of like everything. When we get hits, it has to run through our mind, it has to run through our perceptions, our understanding of life, and then we filter it through that, and then we say what we think it means, like, because that's what it means to us. And someone else may get your same hit and get something else, because we all have this little memory bank that everything has to run through. And so to doubt it because, you know, you're having a rough time and it's really hard too to get those emotional hits when we are emotionally going through hell. Like, it's really hard we want them, we need them, but we also need to deal with our stuff and maybe just take a step back and not try and figure all this out right now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. I have to go through the motions.
You do. And you need to give yourself a break and give yourself time to grieve, because you deserve that just as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
You're the grandma here. You watched your daughter just walk through the fiery, horrible things and lose a daughter while she was doing it. But you also lost a grandbaby. And I think you need to just give yourself just 5 hot minutes to be in that space.
You know, the good part, I feel, is that we got to hold her and just be with her for a little while.
What a gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a true gift to this world. She really is. Yeah. And there will be an opportunity. There will be an opportunity.
And that part I know, because she's quite the spirited.
Yes, she is. She's very active.
Yeah.
Okay. So what were you going to say?
I put the car seat in my car. So she could come with me.
Yay. See?
Yeah.
So she gets to drive wherever she wants to go. How cool is that?
Yep. She's pretty sweet.
All right. So let's see if there's any. Oh, that feels tons better. We've still got some neck stuff going on.
I got to get a tissue.
Okay. Grab a tissue. Okay, so the next stuff and you can validate for me, I feel like is you still trying to keep up with life and still go through the motions of everything else. And it takes a lot of energy to shove everything down. So you're trying to, I feel like this is a lot of you white knuckling. My neck actually really hurts now. I'm like, geez.
That's where I hold it.
It's super tight in there. And I feel like that it's you trying to hold it all together. This is where you like, I feel like
I couldn't move my neck for, I think, 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. There's something. Oh, and then because it kind of goes down lower in your, do you understand that? So it's like right here in your neck, but then it also goes down lower in the back, in that upper back area. Do you understand that?
Between my shoulder blades.
And that's where you're so you can't really get to it back there. You know, most of us, that's like a hard area. So you've like, that's where you shove it back there to hide. This is where you're hiding it. You're saving that for later.
Oh my God. What am I doing?
Isn't it interesting how we do that? Like this mindset of like, I'll just save that for later. I can't deal with it right now. It's got to go on the shelf and I'll just have to deal with it later. And in this, I mean, when we have tragedies that go on in our life, we have to do something to get through because we feel like we go into survival mode for a minute.
It just feels like it's like a blur. Like, did it really happen? Did that? Because you don't ever think it's going to happen to your family.
No.
You know.
Not to your kids. Like, who happened to us?
Right.
So.
But then it does, and someone has to be.
Well, and I don't want you to judge yourself too harshly for that. What I want to do is just help you loosen that up a little bit so that, because just by talking about it today is enough to get things moving through.
And I haven't been, I just did for a little bit, and then I avoid people because then I figure I have to talk about it. So I kind of made plans for this weekend for people to come so I can talk about it. And I just need to free it.
Yes, it needs to come out. So let's do, I'm just going to call in a little bit of healing light to go right there. See if we can't loosen that up and start moving things through. The thing that I don't want you to do is this isn't about judgment. This is about doing the very best that you can do in the most honoring way for you. But knowing that it is A-okay to lose your shit. It's okay to grieve. It's okay. It's okay to be angry. It is okay to be it's okay to have all of these emotions in a 5-minute period, a 2-minute period, and then start over again. Like, because they are emotions. But we are not our emotions. These are just the feelings that we're just going through it. We just got to move through it. So don't judge yourself by where you're at and how well you're handling it, because good heck, nobody gives you a book on how to have 101 on how to get through tough things. Like, I wish.
When my dad passed away. I mean, this is so much different than that. It's almost unbelievable to me that this is
your kids. This is your daughter.
Yeah. This is my baby's baby. So it's
And your dad, I know, because I know about your life, was a totally different story than this.
Oh yeah.
And there was a lot of healing that went in with that too. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
There was a lot of healing that happened before he passed away too.
Yeah.
Give yourself that same gift in this situation of knowing that it's okay.
You know, and I just told that to myself, and it was like a little bit freeing, and then I find myself grabbing it back. Like, you can't feel like that.
Yes,
so I'm the one that's.
Well, because we're scared. Yeah. What will happen if I lose it? What will happen if I let this go? What will happen if I can't be okay after all of this? How do I be okay? I can't be okay. I can't show my kids that I'm okay. I'm just going to say that too, because then they will think I don't care. And I can't show them grieving, because then they're going to think, oh, it's all about her. Like, all of the different, I'll just say it for you. I'm like, let me say it for you. I'll just say it. There is no right or wrong way to do this.
No.
And you're beating yourself up no matter what you do. So everything you throw out there, you immediately retract it back and go, I'm not allowed. I can't feel that way. I can't do it. Because now my kids will think, or my kid, or whoever, whatever the story is that we keep telling ourselves about why we're not allowed to feel the way that we feel.
Right. And I know they're hurting just as bad.
They are.
Just as bad.
And so then you got the guilt because they lost a child.
Mm-hmm.
And how am I? I can't just be okay.
I have to be the strong one. That yet they lose it all the time. And that's okay.
And so can you. Do you get mad at them for losing it?
No.
Ever.
Mm-mm.
We would go love them, hold them, cuddle them, get them whatever they needed.
Whatever they needed.
You could cry all freaking night long. I'd stay up with you all night long. But we don't give ourselves that.
No.
Because I would stay up with you all night long, and I would hold you, and I would tell you it was going to be okay, and I would even pet your head because that's what I do.
Yeah.
But we don't give ourselves that. We don't give ourselves that same love, that same compassion, that same understanding, and that's what you mean right now.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I'm giving you permission to step out of
this
holding it together.
They're going to be like, Mom, you come over here and cry.
Exactly. That's what they would tell you to do.
Yeah, they're all sweet, great girls. So.
And know that you've done nothing wrong, and your feelings aren't wrong. Let's just empower you so that you're not holding on to all of this stuff, so that you can step through this. And it doesn't mean that it goes away. It just means that it gets a little easier to deal with.
Right. I think we just keep waiting for the rest of it to finish up to know where to go.
Yeah.
But that we have no control over that either.
No, and you don't. And your daughter does have some health issues now. We won't go into that because we're not doing anything with that. But it's going to be okay. I just feel like it's going to be okay.
It's just getting there. It's just getting to that point.
And allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to be in this place and knowing that it's okay.
I know I'll be okay. I just want to make myself okay.
But you can't make yourself go okay till you walk through the fire for a hot second.
Oh, hot second.
And that means letting all this boil out. Because you know what?
I know. I keep telling my husband, I'm like, oh my gosh, if somebody makes me mad, I feel bad for what's going to transpire.
Because you know that it's not their fault.
No.
But they're going to get the wrath of the last few weeks.
And that they don't deserve. Right.
No.
They don't deserve
and that's why I'm telling you, let's walk through this. But you've done tons of good work today. And I know because of the healing that I do, just by bringing this stuff to the surface and sending it a little bit of healing light helps so much. And you know that too. Like you've seen that.
I feel it.
Times. Yeah.
Yes.
So that is our goal here today, is to lighten your load a little bit, to clean out your energy field just a little bit, to help you step forward in a new, different light so that you can empower yourself instead of beating yourself up. And that actually feels tons better to me.
Oh, yeah. It feels lighter.
Tears are good. Tears are always good.
Oh, I know. It is better when I'm just by myself and I can just, of course, here I am, not by myself.
So I would encourage you to go take a bath tonight. You and I, we do those. Go take a bath tonight. Sit with your feelings. Let it roll out. You're going to feel like a new, completed woman. And you'll be able to step forward. Because I know you know what you know. And I know you know that there's a reason for everything in that spiritual side.
Yes.
But there's also this emotional side that needs to be released.
Yes.
And as you do that, and the work that we've done today and the integration process that's going to happen here, that is already started to happen, for those, that integration process is just that time where your physical body catches up to the energy work that we just did. So I would encourage you to go sit in the tub tonight. And just, if you can journal, journal. If you can cry, cry. Do
Yeah.
your thing. Close the door. Turn up the music if you feel like you don't want anyone to know what's going on. And then, after that, then you can come and step forward, and it's still going to be there, but you're going to feel like you can make it one more day and not feel all of this anxiety and this stress over being perfect at all of this.
All the time.
All the time. You never
All the
get an off day.
No.
Okay. That feels better. Do you have any questions for me? Is there anything we missed? Anything we...
I don't think so.
You feel better?
I feel so much lighter, like here. And
I was going to say, how does your neck feel now?
no, it's, yeah.
Like, do a little. Do a little.
Yeah. Now that you've loosened it, I just need to release it.
Here, let's send it a little more healing love there. Let's loosen it up just a little bit more. Ground your energy back down too.
Yeah.
Cleaning out all your chakras, connecting you back up to the divine. Okay, now how does your neck feel? Because that just moved.
Oh, that was better. Yeah.
I'm like, that just moved that all out.
I was thinking about going to the chiropractor instead of actually dealing with it. Knowing that if I go, I'll just have to go back and back and back.
And back and back. I'm like, you just need some healing. You just need some energy healing. It'll be okay. Yes. All right, my friend.
All right.
Do you have any questions?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me do your healing today, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. So with that, we will end our session. So we'll thank everybody for watching, and we'll talk to you all soon.